Hi, everyone, and welcome to Tip Time Thursday. And today I'm so excited because I have my first ever guest, my friend Michelle Hubbard, who's a wonderful teacher and speaker, is here today to talk to us about overcoming fear and all kinds of interesting tips on doing that. So, welcome to Michelle.
Well, thank you very much. I'm so happy to be here with you. And I don't think of it so much as overcoming fear because I don't like us to create an adversarial relationship with ourselves.
Yeah.
You know, there's enough reasons to fight out in the world. We don't need to be fighting with ourselves. So my philosophy is how can we make friends with fear? How can we include fear? How can we own that we're feeling scared and then move forward from that with that and kind of let that be holding our hand as we go into the scary place.
Yeah, that's such a good idea because I know I use so many things as reasons to beat myself up. And it's really good to make friends with things instead of pushing against them. It's better to make friends with them.
Yeah, especially make friends with ourselves. So if nothing else, we know we've got our back.
Yeah.
Got our back.
That sounds good. And you did really help me once at work when you told me, because I have patterns of behavior that I go to in automatically, and you're just like the best. When you told me, I kept saying, oh, those people hate me. That so brought my attention to that form of behavior that I was doing that now whenever I start to do that, I catch myself.
Well,
I wanted to thank you for that.
Oh, you're welcome.
Usually I cry when people point out my little things, but you did it so nicely and it brought it into my attention and it's really helped me to not go there anymore.
Well, we were all born into a party that was already started. And even from in the womb, we were starting to kind of organize ourselves in a way that we thought would either make us be invisible or help us to fit into this party.
Mm-hmm.
And we're carrying those patterns forward because they worked when we were really little. They helped us, at least avoid to some extent trouble, punishment. And here we are as adults and we're still kind of doing them. And you know what? They kind of don't work so well anymore.
I know. And some of them, like that one, I didn't even know I was doing that. But it's like my go-to, oh, they hate me. And now it's like whenever I start to find myself doing that, I don't do it anymore.
That's
just
awesome.
Because you just pointed it out to me.
Well, and, appreciate yourself for being able to make that sort of a shift. Because how many people hear something like that and either ignore it or make an excuse for it or justify it.
I think that's what I used to do. But hearing it from you that day, it just totally sank in. I totally got it. I totally heard it. And it really made a difference.
Yeah, because then you can now be, the all Mary, the adult Mary, the strong Mary, the intelligent Mary. And, if somebody has a problem, that's them. That's over on that side. That has nothing to do with strong, adult, confident, beautiful, intuitive, knows the right answer, knows the right thing to say, Mary.
Yeah. And too, because I kept thinking that, oh, they hate me. Then I put that hate vibe out and I end up putting that out to them and then they feel uncomfortable around me. So I end up creating the whole thing all myself. I was doing that all myself.
That's so true. Bottom line, that's some sort of a fear reaction. Some sort of something happened and you felt scared and went to this, usual typical pattern of they hate me. And when it's just me feeling scared, they don't really hate me, you open up the space where all sorts of possibilities live. And then who knows what sort of wonderful exchange you could have. Mm-hmm. And who knows, they might open up and say, I felt scared because I felt like you were thinking I hated you. Who knows?
Okay, so I understand you have a trick of breath that you want to teach us?
I do. We're full of words.
Mm-hmm.
We human beings, we're full of words. That's how we communicate with each other. That's how we communicate with ourselves. That's what runs in our minds and our heads all the time. And, ultimately, this thing we call our soul, this other part of us we call our intuition, is us connecting with our infinite home. The creator that created us in infinity. And that is not limited to words. So the more we can step away from words and be in a place of open to infinite possibilities of communication, that's where imagination can come into play and all sorts of ideas can be born. So fear is just a feeling. It isn't that they don't like us. It isn't that we're not good enough. It isn't all the stories we tell ourselves about why we think we're afraid. And so one of the feelings of fear is a kind of a constriction, and we feel it in our belly. Our belly will tighten up. And when that happens, we can't breathe, or we breathe very shallow, like just up in here sometimes. And the yes breath, I did my coaching training with Gay and Katie Hendricks, who are psychologists. And Gay, back when he was going for his psychology degree, studied breathing. And he studied it in all forms of life: plant life, animal life, human life, embryos in the womb life. And he found that they all did the same sort of a movement, and they all did the same sort of a breathing. And to be honest, I don't remember why he called it yes breath, but to me it's saying a yes to being alive as me. And it's almost the opposite of some of the yoga breathing you might have been taught. I know you do yoga, and yoga breathing is great. The yes breath is like an antidote to fear, because it goes right in and loosens up your belly. And when that happens, then you can start to become present in and as yourself. So yes breath begins kind of as a rocking forward in your pelvis, and then you begin your inhale. So you kind of do, an up on your inhale, and then instead of holding it there like a lot of practices will teach you to, you immediately roll over into your exhale and rock back on your pelvis. And then at the bottom is where you can, kind of just continue letting go. But ultimately you want your exhale to be longer than your inhale so that you're making space. So that's the yes breath, and it's just this gentle rocking forward of inhale and up and exhale and back. And when you do it real slow and easy and not trying to care if you're doing it right or wrong, you can almost feel a familiarity with it, because this is what we did in the womb.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is, how the little fetuses move back and forth when they're breathing in, mom's tummy. So what I like to do when I teach yes breath with others is kind of, while they're doing their breathing, and this is to show you, you can make like a kind of a meditation with it. Or if there's something you're working out, you can do it with yes breath just to kind of, work it out. But what I like to do is almost turn it into a prayer. And I imagine that when I rock forward on my inhale, I'm touching Creator. And then when I rock back, I take Creator's blessings back inside me. And then when I rock forward, and I do goofy stuff, I give Creator a kiss on the cheek. And then when I go backward, I take Creator's love into my heart. And you can add like a hand movement, but this is something that, depending on where you're at and how you're feeling, you can do it standing up. And even if you're in like a meeting and the boss throws a question at you, yes, I did that, but you can just kind of subtly do it. But it's a way of getting breath into your belly to untangle those knots, let those butterflies have more space to fly around in, and get you present so that any intuition that wants to come up, you'll hear it, you'll understand it. Any, oh yeah, I did do that, you won't be second guessing yourself, just to bring you clear and present into yourself. Yes breath is a number one go-to move when you recognize that you're feeling scared.
Oh, yeah, I'm always scared. So let me just be devil's advocate for 1 second. What about people who have a problem with like the God words or the Creator?
Oh, that's why you make up your own stuff.
Okay.
Whatever feels good to you. Okay.
So some people are like Father Sky, Mother Earth. You can do,
absolutely,
you can do that too.
And that's what I want people to do, is to make this what's going to best serve them.
Okay.
And you could just be thinking about dinner. I wonder what chocolate would taste like for dinner. I'm going to bring it into my belly. Yeah, that's yummy. Play with it. The more we can make things easy and soft and gentle and friendly and not some huge, big, serious deal that we have to be scared of doing right or wrong, the more effective they're going to be.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
But you just want that exhale to be longer than the inhale, but you don't count or anything like that.
No, you don't really have to,
Okay.
and the whole thing about yes breath is just to get that movement going. Because one of the things that happens when we feel scared is we kind of freeze. That's one of our fear signatures, is freezing. And so the quickest way to kind of start getting yourself back to yourself is to move and breathe.
Yeah, I kind of like the rocking. It almost feels like you're kind of in the ocean or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have an exercise I lead people in where we put one hand on our tummy and one on our heart and then rock the baby.
Oh.
And then we'll, I don't know, you kind of go with the moment in the group. But, depending, what's the baby? Is the baby telling you something? Is it something, there's all sorts of ways you can go with it. And it feels good to just kind of hold yourself in this way. Are you the baby?
Mm-hmm.
Is someone holding you this way? So if you can just kind of go with the movement and let the words all just not even be there anymore, who knows what it'll open up and what it'll help you to open up within you. And we all have those, kind of wounded parts of us that want to talk to us. So this is a way to give them some loving attention and let them have a voice.
Okay, so you just breathe in and you rock forward and look up.
Mm-hmm.
And then you exhale back down.
Yeah. And as you rock forward, you kind of automatically, your head will rise and get off your neck, off your shoulders. And without even really intentionally doing it, for example, you and I are pretty much in sync in our movements, and that's what happens.
Mm-hmm.
You just kind of get in this flow, because it is a very natural way of breathing throughout all of nature, even from plants, like Gay studied plants. And this is an innate way of life to breathe. So that's the yes breath, yes to life.
Thank you, Michelle. And
thank you,
thank
Mary.
you for joining us on this episode of Tip Time Thursday. Thanks, you guys, and I'll see you next time. Don't forget to visit my website, subscribe to my channel, subscribe to my newsletter. Thanks for joining me on Tip Time Thursday.